Salam and welcome you all. Today we are going to start a session for framework design course. Build and launch your website without coding. So what we are going to do is learn what is meant by without coding. Actually, there is a tool called framework. So we are going to learn from that tool. Whatever we design, it will be an actual website without any coding. So we are going to launch this course where you can also design a website without coding. So that is essence of this course. Why we need a website without coding is because businesses need websites. Many businesses are just startups or a small business, so they need websites which they can build without a big cost. Learning this skill is also important to us for creators or freelancers because we can create our own websites or we can build it for others. This software is a website building software. It is much more advanced than WordPress. Its interface is as easy as simple as Figma. We have to create like simple tools like shapes, text, add animations, smooth animations, and make it a much more interesting website. So what you learn in this course, okay, the website structure and layout, how the website works, and you can build a page, but it will be simultaneously created in tablet view and mobile view. Finally, we can adjust some things and make the website a complete website. So it will be a responsive website also. And we can use multiple templates. There are so many templates out there. Most of them are free. We can use the templates and make our own websites. And finally, we can also publish our website live because Framer also has their own hosting. So we don't need a server. We can host in Framer with the Framer domain itself. Also, we can buy a domain and have our own website that is made in Framer. This is a very good alternative for some people who don't have very much advanced like big e-commerce website like Flipkart, Amazon. Most of the type of websites the businesses, the small or medium businesses or IT industry need. So what Framer is best for is, like I previously said, the service-based websites, personal brands, portfolios, like we can design anything and most of the animation which can make a website much more cleaner is present in the Framer. So what we'll do is we straight away jump to the Framer itself. We'll do a sample website for you to know that designing in Framer and making it live is actually very much easy. As you see, I have already opened a blank project in Framer titled First Session. We're going to design a simple landing page. That landing page will also be a responsive page. So we have to create multiple breakpoints. There is an option called breakpoint here, right? Breakpoint actually meant is multiple dimensions in which the website will appear. Like is the desktop view and we'll have a tablet view and also a mobile view. Okay. We'll add a breakpoint for tablet and mobile also. Okay, now we move on to the main page. First, we import some logo because a website needs a logo, right? What we can do is just drag and drop a file from our computer. Okay, you see it has a product, but its size is too large. So what you see here is the size. Okay, the layout of the framework is very much simple. What you can see is size. It is too much, like 8,300 pixels. We just shrunk it down to 240 pixels. Okay. The width and height are locked. Okay. This locking means the aspect ratio will remain the same. If we put 240 on this, the height also will be 240. Okay. We enter it. What you'll see also is the tablet and the phone view also has the same. Okay, we don't have to manually create everything. Whatever we design in the desktop, it will automatically reuse in the tablet and mobile view. Okay, the left side of this has pages, layers, and assets. Okay, the layers panel has all the elements which will be present on our design. Okay, so there it is, the main open school logo. What we do is we create a text. Okay, like we need a menu bar for Film Open School. What usually websites do, they has a logo and It has a menu bar like services, testimonials, contact us, like that. So we'll create that look into this website. There is a T button here, right? What it means is a text bar. Okay, its shortcut is T. When we press T, text bar automatically appears. Okay, when we click and add home, what we can do, we can just copy this home by pressing Control D. Okay, Control D, home page, services, and another Control D, testimonial, and contact us. Okay, for our sample, this is very much it. Okay, so what we do is what we'll do is just select all the text and right click. There is an option called Add Stack. Control plus Alt plus Enter. It will make the text in a auto layout structure. Like in Figma, the same thing is called stack in Framework. Okay. Okay, we have to stack this text, but we don't need the menu items like this. Okay, we need it horizontally. So what we'll do is go to the right side panel and there is a layout section here. Direction of the stack horizontal. But we need more gap, right? So we have space for button. What we can do is manually enter the amount of pixels of gap in between. Or if we go closely, it will automatically show a double side arrow key. If we press and drag it to the right side, the gap automatically increases. So we can stop where we feel it is okay. So what we'll do, we stop at 48. Okay. Okay. We rename this stack as menu items. But menu bar itself has the logo and the menu items itself. So we can combine an image and text also in a stack. Okay. We select using a control press button. We can select both items and we'll add that in stack also. So in this stack, we need it in horizontal position. Okay, now our menu bar is taking a shape, right? You can see it with your own eyes. We'll rename it menu bar. Okay, now what we'll do is this menu bar, right? It is it is taking up all the space of the desktop. We need menu bar with the padding, right? We don't need menu bar to fill the entire screen. We need padding. It will have a clear view. What we'll do is when selecting the menu bar, the stack, we'll add a padding, okay, of 64. Actually, the prompt is not visible, so we make the whole browser much more smaller. Okay, now it is visible. We'll just move the borders so it fits the logo itself. Okay, we'll copy crop logo. It just filled the with this in the same aspect ratio. We don't want it. So what we'll do is just go to the size and unlock the aspect ratio and we'll just do the height set to height to fit image and boom, just like that we got it sorted. Okay, now the menu items are much more smaller here. Okay, and the gap between the logo and the menu items or there is no gap at all. So what we need is we need a proper gap between them. We'll mention the gap also as 64, I think. 64 is much more good. Okay. As you see, some of the text in the tablet view are cut out because the size does not allow such a padding. Okay. Because the desktop size is huge, so we can do this in desktop size. But in the tablet size, we have to adjust this manually. Whatever we create in the desktop side, it will be visible on tablet and mobile view, but we have to sometimes adjust it accordingly. But we don't have to recreate everything. Whatever the constraints, how the final output will be, we can just adjust the constraints and the height and width of some things, some elements to make the website look consistent and good on all the layouts. Okay, so what we'll do, we would just select all the menu items and select a font. Okay, we'll choose the Kata. This is a good font. We can select all the text. We can increase the size to 24. Yeah, this is now a good size. We can actually select the color of the text from here. When we select, it shows all the things we can apply to gradient, radial gradient, and conic gradient. But we don't need it. We have to change the color. By pressing this ink dropper, we can select a sample color. I select from the logo itself. Okay, so I have selected the color from the logo itself. So it is not full black, it is a dark gray. So it will look good on eyes. Okay. We can also select this text and make it a basic style, which can be reused whenever we use a text in wherever we use wherever we use a text, we can make the text similar style to this same size, to this menu item size. What we'll do is just press the in the text layout on the right hand side, we have styles right. We have to right click, left click, we have to left click the mouse and we'll do new style. Okay, and we'll add it as heading 2. We'll rename it as menu item. Okay, menu bar is set. We have to move down to make an image like a cover image, like a hero image. Every website has. This hero image describes what the website is actually about. Maybe some websites don't have a hero image, they just have a background and the text. So it depends on the website. But in this scenario, we will create a cover photo and we'll add some text to attract the audience of what we do here. Okay, we can just drag and drop the image here and it will be on the inside icon. We can make it inside the section here, the desktop. in the desktop page, what we can do is on the left hand side, we can see the image is outside the layer, outside the section of the desktop. Okay, so we can move it to the inside of the desktop. So it actually becomes the inside. But what it did, it just did it go it went inside the menu bar. So we don't want it inside the menu bar. We want it below the menu bar. So we just move it outside the menu bar and move it above the menu bar. Now we can move it down. Okay, now that's fine. What we'll do is we don't need a vertical image in this scenario because the view is just top. Okay, what we'll do, we can adjust the height to fit the image to the size. Yeah, if we change it to fill, the image size automatically reduces. Okay, this will be the cover image of our website. Okay, this section, this menu bar and this whole section is called the hero section. So we can combine these items as a one section and we can call it the hero section. So we'll just add it in stack. In that stack, we'll rename it as hero section. When we select a section, there's an option on the right hand side. Like when you scroll down, there's an option called scroll section. When we hit a plus, we can name a section, right? We can name this section as hero. Okay. What this will do, there's a hashtag right to this section, right? What this hashtag will do is it will create an ID in the name of hero. So whenever we click on some of the items, when we click services, it will scroll down and go to the services section. Okay, that is the main work of this scroll section and the name ID. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll add a text right above the image itself. Okay, the text will be your second chance big. Your second chance to study begins here. Okay. What we'll do is we'll just increase the size to 72 and we'll move this text around here. Okay. And we'll have much more bolder version like your second chance to study begins here. This section we can just make it much smaller and the thickness also we can make it a much lesser thickness like regular and there you go your headings created, but what we'll do is we have a, what we'll do is we'll change the color of this second chance to the color of this logo. Okay, so this blue color. Yeah, actually this suits the background here, this blue color. Your second chance to study begins here. Actually, we need this image much more wider, so it actually feels like a, it actually feels like our image. Okay, we'll just crop the image into 2:1 ratio, 2000 into 1000. You can also manually enter it and we'll crop it. Yeah, then we just center it so we can see it. But the text is not visible, right? The text is not visible at all. So what we'll do is to make sure the text is readable. We'll add a overlay layer above this image. We'll add a shape. So there is an option called vector at the top, top menu. In that, we'll create a rectangle in the same size of the cover image, like 1200 into 600. What happened is the desktop itself, it has a stack constraint. So whatever we add inside this sections, the desktop layout, it will automatically be assigned as a stack item. So it will have auto layout. The rectangle moves out of here. What we need to do is select the rectangle and in the right side, we'll have position. This relative position, what the relative means, it follows the constraints of the layer. What we need to change is we need to change it to absolute. When we change it to absolute, we can position the rectangle where as we wish. Okay. What we'll do is just we'll cover this image with our rectangle. We'll increase the size to match the cover image. And okay, and we'll just do a fill. Okay, we want gradient fill. So actually, the left side of the image is much more darker. We need the gradient to be from left to right. So what we'll do, when we go near the gradient lines, we'll have this arrow mark. What we'll do is we'll rotate this by pressing and holding it until it is accordingly to our need. I think we'll fix it at 90 degrees. And select one end of the gradient. We can select it inside the fill section also. We select a much more darker color for the right hand side. And we can select the other color also. We'll select and what we'll do is we'll also make it darker but not much darker and we'll increase the opacity. This 100% that this shows this opacity and also the slider This also indicates the opacity level. Okay. What we'll do is just we'll just increase the opacity. Left hand side much more darker. But what it does is makes the whole image very much dull. So what we'll do is just we'll have the color from the logo itself. So when we press the eyedropper tool, we'll have the eyedropper open and we'll just take the color from the logo. Yeah, now this image looks brighter and this image has a purpose. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll just move the text outside the image. So we'll do the same for this text also. We'll change the positioning to absolute. This looks right. And we'll change the color to white. So this has a better view. But we can actually the make the color stand out even much more. What we can do is highlight the first bold letter. First, what we'll do is we'll sample the colors from the logo and we'll create a color scheme like in Figma. When we click the text, we can see the text options on the right hand side. And when we press color, what we can actually do is we can create new styles. Like in Figma, we can sample colors and we can create styles and name it and reuse it for any text or any color buttons, whatever we like. We'll press new style and we'll rename it to blue. We'll sample the color from here, okay, the gradient itself, and we'll press create. Now the blue color style is selected. And what we'll do the same for the green also. We'll select the green color from the logo and we'll add new style and rename it green. Press create to create a green color. And we can do the same for white color. White is actually the top left corner. So we'll name it white and create. Okay, actually, now we have created three styles of colors, blue, green, and white. And we can also use text color like these text colors, right? We have used the text colors. What we can do is when we select that color, what we can do is when we select the text, the color selected, it can be also added as a style to make this as a new style and rename it as black. Okay. Later, we need to rename the color black. The colors we have saved, right? It can be seen at the assets tab. When you press the assets tab, whatever the text style and the color style we have selected will be here. Okay, we name it as text black, and we got it. Okay, so we have created a hero section, and what we need to do is add a service section. What we can do is go to the layers panel and we can just copy this hero section and it will automatically auto layout. Uh, Using auto layout, it will automatically bring it down. Okay, so we press Ctrl plus D And as you can see, this a new section has been deleted, but this section is services. Okay, but this section is services, but we don't need the menu bar and the logo items. So what we'll do is we'll just delete the menu bar and we'll just delete the image rectangle, image rectangle, and we'll just have a text. Okay. So in the text, we need to make it look good. So we'll change it to text black. Okay. We'll rename the first section as our services. We can also add a subheading. What we'll do is this text should be centralized. So it will be when we select the text, there's text option shows up. The text options shows up on the right hand side. So what we'll do is align it to center. That's it. We have we have a sections heading. So but the absolute position is still on there. So that is why the text we have to move the text. When we make it relative, it will automatically be in the center, but it will not have any gap. As the desktop layout does not have any gaps. Look, there is no gap. It is zero. What we'll do, we'll create gaps between sections. 64, I think it's okay. Okay, then we need cards to show our services, cards or images, whatever it could be better, but we'll make cards. What we'll do, we'll import some icons. The framer has also inbuilt icon setup. When we press insert, there is a lots of options. When we find elements category, there is a first option icons. What we'll do is we'll select the post for icons. We selected the icon, and what we'll do is we'll get the icon inside the layout. So it is there, and we'll increase the size of the icon. Okay, 48, and the phosphor text, the phosphor, the options for the icon is on the right hand side. When we click, it shows all the icons that are available in this model. What we'll do is we can search for our options. Yeah, there is a certificate icon. So, but we'll need this icon to be much larger. So increase the size. We need it much more larger. So we will increase the size and the width that has to be less. Okay, one. This is good. And we can also change the color. What we do is we just select the color and have it as green. Okay, this looks nice. And we'll have a text similar to this, but in a much smaller size. In the layers panel, You can just copy this text or duplicate it. Just have it or duplicate text. What we'll do is edit our text. So what we'll do is we'll change this to a single line. This should be our services heading, and the size is much more larger. We just reduce it to 48, and this will be our services heading, and we'll make it a new style heading number. What we can do is actually we can add multiple sizes for this heading for multiple designs. In this breakpoints section, we have add breakpoints. If you press it, actually, if you look at it, it is large, medium, small. So the large will be for desktop, medium will be for tablet, and the small will be for mobile view. And all of these will be auto adjusted as you can see here. As you see, the size are horizontal. So we'll do this for the main heading as well. We'll change it to, we'll change the heading to 2 lines as well. Your second chance. This bigger text will be our heading number 1. Our heading. When we go to edit option and we edit add breakpoints, it also pays the similar result, and we can add a smaller text right beneath it at the size of the heading 3, but we don't want the color black. So what we'll do is remove this type, and we don't want this boldness, and we'll remove this and we'll change it to regular and the color to white. Okay, this will be our heading. We'll change the style to heading 4. We'll also add breakpoints to this, so it will be auto adjusted. And if you remember, the size difference in the new items is truly visible. So what we'll do is we'll also do the same for the. So what we'll do is we select the menu item, select all the menu items, and it has a styles, and in edit styles we'll add breakpoints. So the text are much smaller, but actually in menu we need different layout for tablet and phone. For menu we'll need mostly burger um, burger icon with a drop down menu. So we'll change it later, but what we'll do is we will adjust this our services title also. So we'll add this as new style as well as heading 5. Okay, same with the breakpoints. We can actually edit the breakpoints later, so it is auto adjusted. What we do is our services that change into certificates. Okay. Now we need a body text, a paragraph about the service. Right. So what we'll do is we'll duplicate this and we'll remove the style and we make it regular and the size as 24, like the same size as the menu item. We can also select through the styles menu item and it will be the same. Okay. To provide certificates for NIOS. NIOS. Actually, the style changed. What we'll do is make the style change. And you see the spacing is much more larger. So we edit the menu items and decrease the spacing to 1. Okay. And paragraph spacing to 20. Okay. Now this is much more. So we'll go to cell. Okay. So what we need to do is add this heading and detail about the heading to abstract. Make the gap like even. Whatever padding and gap we are giving to the stack, it should be like multiples of 4 or 8. So it is even across everywhere. Okay, that is the basic principle of designing. Mm, service detail. We rename that service detail. And we'll add a stack to the detail and the icon itself. So we'll add a stack. This stack will be named as service one. Okay. The width will be relative and the padding will be 24. Sorry, 24. 24 is much more smaller, so we create a much larger padding, 48. So what we do is we create an outline so it looks like a card. Okay. In the right hand side in style, we can see there's an option is border, add a border. So we'll select it, solid. Actually, the services is relative, but we need to fit the content. It fits the content, but our content is not exactly fitting the services card. So what we need to change is the detail service detail layout is actually used to be is given as fill. So it actually occupies all the space. What we need to do is change the size fit to fit content. So what we do, whatever the content, it will be fit inside this. And this card layout, we can also cut the corners, like round the corners in this radius section. It changes to 16. Here you see the corners are rounded. To make the services section much more complete, we need to add a padding across this section as well. 64 is much more looking, but we already have a padding across top and the bottom, so we need it just for the right and left, so we can automatically adjust the padding accordingly by pressing this second arrow button, top, right, bottom, left. We can adjust it manually. What we'll do is we'll just make the top 0 and the bottom 0. Oh, there you go. And we need spacing between the inside the stack of services section. So we'll increase the padding to 32. 32 is much smaller, so make it 40. Okay, we created a single card. From here on, the work will be easy because we just have to duplicate it. Control D, Control D. There you go, we have three cards, but we want it horizontally. So what we'll do is we'll again add stack of three of these cards in another stack and we set it to horizontal direction. There you go. We have our sections lined up. But the thing is, our sections does not easily fill up the space. It takes much more space than it needs to. So what we can do is we'll decrease the spacing inside each card. So it will be we need more gap between the cards, each card. So we just move the cards. And what is actually happening, the cards does not have much more space, have more spacing inside it. So we can decrease the padding of each of the cards. What we do is select all the cards and we'll change the padding to 24. But we need to change the bottom of this section. We need to add a padding to bottom because the bottom does not look good. So we'll add a bottom padding. And now we can change the items directly by selecting. We have selected certificates. We can select laptop. Yeah, and we can do things. What we do is okay. Yeah, can select the token. By pressing T, we can edit the text directly. We'll have a text marker, and when you press, we can edit directly. So online. Okay. Learning. What we do is learn online. We'll select the same for this. Can everyone. Take care for prepare for exams. After comfort from your home. So the style automatically change when I press the enter button. What we can do is we'll just remove the style and we'll just enter the new one. What we'll do is just remove the style and we'll add 1.2. Yeah, and we'll also do the same to this. Remove the style and we'll add 1.2. And for this also, we'll remove the style and we'll do 1.2. Okay, now succeed. Achieve your target of study. Continue your studies. After allow break. Okay, this will be our service. If actually the services does not look like that, but it's just for reference. Okay, so we have created this layout for the desktop, but for the tablet and the mobile view, the view is not properly fit. So what we can do is we'll change the sizes to fit properly. So we'll decrease the certificate size. It's the same here, and it's the same here. Okay. And we can have the service detail with the fixed width. What this fixed width would do is automatically makes the text go down. But in all cases, it does not fulfill that. It has to be the each and every text has to be relative or filled. If it is made as fill, the text will automatically adjust to the size of the stack. Okay, so we have fixed the size of the stack to 180, and we'll do the same for these services 180, and we'll do the same for this section also. We'll make it fill. Yeah, you can see. But why we need to change every time? Because when we change a single when we change a single thing, why can the others follow and can be made in the same pattern? It is possible. That is actually a thing called component. When we make things of multiple iterations or multiple times, a thing appears like button, cards. A default a default component can be created. So when we edit that component, all of the components which have been reused using that component also changes. So this will reduce the work of manually editing each and every card or button. So, but we can create component and create using the components. But in this session, we don't have much time for that. So we'll just do it manually. It is for a much when we do a much larger when you do a much larger project, it is a very much needed thing, and it is very common in Figma also, and in Framer itself, and in Framer also it is of the same use and it is used for the same purpose. So we'll do the same for the these services 180, and we'll change the size of the text to fit. Okay, as you can see, there is still space in between because the space in between is much larger than compared to the desktop. It is much smaller size, but the gap is larger, so we'll decrease the size. It is still not it is still not looking good because the padding is also as large as the desktop size. So we need to decrease the paddings of the services section. Okay, what we need to do is actually we forgot to name the services section for section of services. Okay, yeah, and we have named it so it can be used for the purpose, data purpose. Now when we click on services, the padding is 6440, but we need it like 48, 48, 48. There you go. You can handle. What is happening is the ticks are in different sizes. So we'll do a common size like 16, but it is much smaller. So what we'll do is 20. Yeah, so this looks good. And we'll also decrease the size. By pressing Shift, you can select multiple items without leaving without taking your hands off the button. Continuously pressing the shift, we can select multiple items. And we have to change this style. We have to remove that and we have to decrease the size. It is not possible. So if you remember, we had made edit points. We had made breakpoints for this heading. So, but the breakpoints are much larger. What we can do is we can do we can go to the heading inside the heading and edit. Scrolling down, we can see the medium size. We can decrease the size here. It's still not smaller enough. So we'll increase again and it is going to so yeah, this is perfect. And we'll do the same for the text. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll to remove the spacing of this and spacing of this. And this and now it looks better, but the alignment is not proper. So what we'll do is we select the stack, we select each and every service detail stack. To the left side of the menu, you can select it using Control press by pressing Control press the service detail and the second service detail. What we can do is what we can do is select the layout method, select from the layout section, select the distribute option as start center, select the layout as from the start. So inside the actually why the what we have to do is change the alignment of the both the text to left align. Okay, now this looks proper and do the same for the other text also. Yeah, this looks proper. And what is happening here in the mobile view is that the position of the rectangle did not change according to the sizes of the cover. So we have to adjust it in the tablet view. We have adjusted it and also in the mobile view. Okay, but the text is not proper. We can change the text here to continue your studies. Okay, we have the text, but it is too large. Like we have put a breakpoint on the textile, but still the textile has a very large text for our mobile view. So we change the textile in edit in the smaller version down the size to 36. Okay, I think this looks good. And we'll also down the size of the second iterator to 24. And now this looks much better. Our services is also much larger. We should edit and do the same thing. 36. Hmm. So what we'll do is we'll also do the same for the services section. We decrease the gaps to 16, 16, and 16 there as well. And what we need to do is we need to change the stack of the services to vertical stacks because the mobile view has the vertical view and we don't want a horizontal view on the mobile. So we change it to vertical. So what we see is a vertical stacks of each of the cards. And you'll see the different sizes. So we need to change the sizes to match the 15. We change the size to 15. Okay, that's good. And also we don't want our sizes of the icons to look this big. We just make it much more smaller, like the size of the tab, like same as in the right size of the tablet. We will decrease it to 128, half of the size. And now this looks much better, right? Now we'll just move the text to the center for the mobile view. And we'll move the logo. Actually, what is the problem here? With the menu items or the menu items cannot be properly aligned in the system. So what we can do for right now, usually there will be a drop down menu, but we don't have much time for that. So what we'll do is we'll just grid stack. Okay, what we can do is make this stack as grid. So when you change it to grid, it's like you can see, there's services and all the menu items will be like a same like a grid. So it actually fits inside the grid. We can also do the same for the mobile view, but instead of grid, we can actually stack them in vertical order. So what we can do is change the menu bar direction to vertical and the menu items directions as grid. Okay? And select all the menu items and confirm the menu items. And the gap between the menu bar logo and the menu bar item is much more because same is same amount of gaps are between the tablet, desktop, and the mobile phone. So we'll just decrease the spacing and we'll just also decrease the spacing between the in the mobile views. Well, okay. I take the rectangle that are selected at its absolute measurement. So we have to move it down. So what we'll do is make the whole section, whole text in the center aligned position. Therefore, there will be no misalignment like this. Okay, now this looks proper, and we should also make the same for tablets. Make all the text as center line so it looks properly. Okay, right now desktop, tablet, and mobile view is complete. So what we can do is just link the sections together. So this home page, right? What we can do is link this home page to a section, right? When we press the text, there is a top right option link to. When you press the link, there is no section already there. Home. When we press the when you press the link, it shows home because we have one page, home page, and there is an option called section. In that section, there is two sections, hero and services. We choose hero. Okay, we'll scroll to smooth, and we can choose the services and to the same link like home services. Now and make it smooth. You can scroll down. So you can think to just remove the link setting. We need to change in the desktop version. Automatically, the change is applied to the tab and the mobile version. You see here the home button and the services button. The link is already set. As you can see, yeah, in the mobile section as well. So what we can do is finally we can publish this site, and we have published our website. So we can check it. How we can check it is just press play icon and our review website review will open. You can scroll down and see our services, right? And when you press services, it actually scroll down to our services. So it actually works fine, right? This actually works as a website. Like you can also change the view to laptop and see if it can. Yeah, it works, right? This is my issue there, but it's not a big issue. It needs to be set at all. Alignment and phone. Yeah, see, it just works fine. When you click services, it automatically scrolls down to services. That's how you make your website work. So, as you see, we just designed a site like Figma, but it actually works and it is already hosted. So, it is a live website. What we designed is actually a live website with the animations and all the functionalities ready to be hosted on a custom domain. So, this way we can create various websites and we can learn so much like this step by step in the same way. Right now, we can go to the PPT and see what we have learned. So as you have seen, the framework is best for service-based website. It does not have a backend. We cannot have login pages or adding e-commerce sites where we can buy and sell. It does not have backend. It has some kind of backend where we can update data, dynamic data through images and text like CMS. It is a concept which can be explained during the course. Like we can actually make the payment links, get customer leads through forms. What we can actually do for e-commerce, like we can create the backend data in Shopify and we can link it to the front end of this framework. So we can have a smooth, beautiful UI and it also has a functionality of Shopify. And in this course, it will be about 3 weeks, Sunday to Sunday, 90 minutes session and all the recordings will be available in Google Classroom. I hope you can see and feel that this is a complete course and it is worth more than what you pay for. So if you're interested, you can join this complete course and you can also build and launch your own website without coding just by knowing how to properly design with the knowledge of design principles, textual hierarchy, and some knowledge of basic SEO. So that is your thought. If you're interested, you can join this course. Thank you.